People are always hunting for a formula, a shortcut, a trick they can borrow. I'm 101 now, and everywhere I go, someone leans in and asks the same thing. So tell me, what's the secret? How did you live this long? Why do you still look so content? They expect a simple answer. Olive oil, a glass of wine, long walks every morning. And yes, I've done all of that. Of course I have. But that's not what kept me here. That's not the reason. You really want to know the secret? Then listen closely. Because what I'm about to share, it took me an entire lifetime, nearly 100 years, to finally understand. The truth is simple, but most people miss it. Life doesn't hand you joy. You choose it every morning. Whether you realize it or not, you make a decision. Not about money, not about success, about how you will meet the day. Happiness isn't an accident. It isn't luck. It's a decision you make again and again. Most people never understand this. They sit and wait. They wait for the perfect job, the perfect partner, the perfect timing. And while they're waiting, life quietly passes them by. I didn't wait. I chose it. That choice is why I'm still standing here, still smiling, still thankful for each morning I'm given. But I don't think my life was gentle. I was 8 years old when my mother died. An illness took her quickly, cruelly. I still remember her body growing still, her voice disappearing, the house suddenly feeling empty. Childhood ended that day. In 1940, my father brought me to America, $50 in his pocket. Not a word of English between us. I was 12, sleeping on a bare floor in Bensonhurst with 15 other people, learning what survival really meant. By 13, I was working beside my father, making shoes, day after day, until my hands cracked and bled. That's how we ate. Then there was Catherine Williams, my first wife, the most beautiful woman I had ever seen. Black hair, brown eyes, a voice so warm it filled a room before she even spoke. We had 13 years together, starting in 1949. 13 years I thought would last forever. On the morning of August 26, 1962, I made breakfast like always for her. For the children, I went to wake her. She was already gone. A stroke took her quietly, without warning. She was only 32. I was 34, left with 3 children, and no idea how to keep going. But even then, especially then, I made a choice. After that moment, life didn't just crack, it collapsed. I was barely holding myself together. For nearly 2 years, I lived in a fog, learning how to be both father and mother, learning how to breathe again without her. Nothing came easily. I tried business after business. 5 years of effort, mistakes, failures, and then, finally, something small but real, a modest furniture stall in the city where my children and I live. It wasn't much, but it was ours. Then came 1984. Fire. In a single night. Everything I had built over 15 years disappeared. I stood on the sidewalk, watching flames consume 45 years of my family's labor. Ashes drifting into the dark. I was 56. Too old to start over, too tired to believe I could rebuild again. That night, I thought, this is it. This is where I stop. This was the hardest moment of my life. Someone once told me something I never forgot. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. You don't always have to be strong. That's the first lesson I want to give you. Write it down if you have to. Hard times don't have to harden you. They don't get to decide who you become. You do. After Catherine died, I had a choice. And yes, I was furious. For nearly 2 years, I was the angriest man in San Diego. I shouted at my children, my sister, at customers who didn't deserve it. I barely slept. I barely ate. My children were afraid of me. Then one night, my daughter Maria, she couldn't have been more than 5, came into the room while I was crying. She looked at me and asked softly, "Papa, why are you so mad? Did I do something wrong?" I saw her face, her wide eyes, so innocent, so scared, and something broke open inside me. I asked myself questions I couldn't escape. Why was I pouring my anger onto my children? What had they done to deserve this? When did I become this man? That night, sleep never came. I lay awake, replaying the last 2 years, examining myself like a witness on trial. And by morning, I knew I had to change. I had to choose a different life. I needed to live in a way that would honor Catherine, to love my children the way she would have, to show them that their father wasn't trapped in endless sorrow, that joy was still possible. So listen carefully. You're going through something right now. Maybe you lost someone. Maybe you lost something. Maybe life knocked you flat and you don't know how to stand again. Don't force strength when your heart needs honesty. Feel the pain, feel the sadness, and then when you're ready, choose to move forward. Time doesn't erase wounds, but it teaches them how to heal. No one else can make that choice for you. Then, in 1990, life surprised me. I met Julia, my second wife. I was 62. I hadn't been with a woman in nearly 40 years. I attended a small social gathering at the local senior center, not expecting anything at all. And then I saw her. She was laughing, really laughing, and her entire face lit up. In that moment, I thought, that's the most beautiful thing I've seen in 40 years. Her name was Julia Smith. She was 52, a retired nurse. I walked over to her, and for the first time in a long time, my life began opening again. I didn't expect happiness to find me again. Not like that. Not so late. Not so gently. But it did. People talked. They whispered. The family was worried. Friends questioned. And yet, 1 year later, Julia and I were married. The looks we received, I still remember them. Even my own son, Robert, stopped speaking to me. 2 years, 2 long years. He said I had forgotten his mother. He said the neighborhood was watching, judging, talking. I told him the truth. Robert, I love you, and I never forgot your mother. But I spent 40 years alone. I am 70 years old, and I finally found someone who makes me laugh. If the neighborhood doesn't like it, let them. That's the second lesson. Write it down. Stop caring so much about what other people think. One day, and I hope it comes long before you're 70, you'll realize this. Other people's opinions don't shape your life unless you let them. Only you can hurt yourself by believing them. Julia and I spent over 30 years together. 30 beautiful years. She passed away 2 years ago on January 15th. She was 86. I miss her every single day. But here's the thing. She would be furious if I stopped laughing. She'd look at me and say, "Will, don't you dare sit around feeling sorry for yourself. We had 30 years. That's more than most people ever get." And she's right. So I still laugh, sometimes even at her. You want to know what makes me happy now? Coffee in the morning, sunlight coming through the window. My great-grandson John, he's 7, calling me every weekend. The taste of good bread, classical music playing softly, a warm bed, a stranger who smiles at me on the street. That's it. That's the whole list. I don't need a yacht. I don't need a mansion. I don't need anything I don't already have. And here's the secret inside the secret. I could have lived this way at 30, at 40, at 50, but I was too busy chasing things that didn't matter. Too busy worrying. Too busy being afraid. Here's the final lesson, the most important one. Happiness is not waiting for you at the finish line. It's hiding in every step you take today. It's right here, right now, in what you already have. But you have to open your eyes to see it. So tonight, when you finish watching this, do one thing. Sit down, look around, find 3 things you're grateful for. Not big things, small ones. The way your dog looks at you, the sound of your children laughing, the fact that you can breathe without even thinking about it. Start there. Gratitude is a muscle. You have to use it every day. And if you do, I promise you your life will change. I'm 101 years old. I lost my mother as a child. I lost my first wife at 34. I lost my shop at 56. I lost Julia 2 years ago. I should be the saddest man alive, but I'm not, because every morning when I open my eyes, I say, "Thank you, God. Thank you for one more day." What are we going to do with it? That's the secret. You choose joy every single day, not because life is easy, not because nothing bad ever happens. Bad things happen all the time. You choose joy because the alternative is misery, and misery is a waste of whatever time you have left. My mother used to tell me I remember it, even though I was so young. Will, life is beautiful if you look at it the right way. I didn't understand at 5, or 30, or 50, or even 70. But now, at 101, I finally do. Life is beautiful. Not perfect, beautiful. With all the pain, all the loss, all the hard days. Beautiful. And you only get one. So stop waiting to be happy. Stop waiting for everything to be okay. Choose joy now, today, while you're still here to choose it. That's the secret. I also hope you will be happy with your life. Don't forget to tell me where you heard my life story from.